edition of the Midday Show with me, Ifunaya, and I'm here with you all the way down to 4 p.m., keeping you entertained, keeping you company, keeping you very well informed, and just having fun with you, really. It's a beautiful Friday. So yes, let's get back into people's perspective. And my unequivocal co-host, Seun Kuti, is right here.
I do. I'm here, people. How you doing this Friday, Lagos? It's the TPP. Yeah, you know we got the TPP. Shit. We have the best theme song.
We do, actually.
Nobody can tell us anything.
Alright, guys. We're just going to get into the stories for today. First off, we're going to be touching on the federal government approving $1.5 billion for the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery. And so you might have heard this already. This happened on Wednesday, where the Federal Executive Council actually approved the plan by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources to rehabilitate the Port Harcourt refinery with $1.5 billion. Now, this decision was taken at the weekly meeting.
I'm not interrupting you. Please call this money again.
1.5 billion, not naira, dollars.
I said call this money again. Let me hear. Call this
dollars.
money again.
1.5 billion. So if they give you 1.5 billion, what are you going to do with it now?
1.5 billion. I'll rent a whole cruise ship. The cruise ships are not they've now been found to be environmentally unfriendly. So we can't use.
Is it because of COVID-19?
No. They did some investigative journalism on them, and they dump their waste
into the
water,
water.
the crude from you.
The aquatic life suffering.
So I'll find it. I'll get a balloon. I'll get one of those balloons.
Okay. The hot air balloons.
Yes. I'll take you.
Okay.
And Chef Yede.
Oh.
On a cruise around the world. With a hot air balloon.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Whilst you're thinking about more things that we're going to do.
That's the first thing I do. Throughout this trip, I'm not think of, it's literally taking that fresh air from from like.
Is our climate good for that? Because we're going to have to leave from Nigeria, Abi. Or where will we go? Are we going to go somewhere first? And then
we can leave from the border.
Okay, we'll leave from the border.
We can leave from, because we're not sure that that thing can fly. Say bandits. You can't fly balloon safely across Nigeria.
Yeah, that you have a point there.
Yeah, so we have to go from like Cotonou, navigate with the winds.
Oh, okay.
Go through like from Ghana, push out from that side.
Okay.
Gambia.
I think that's a plan. But whilst you're putting some more thought into that plan, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, actually disclosed this to the State House correspondents at the end of the meeting at Presidential Villa right there in Abuja. He did say, and I quote, "The Ministry of Petroleum Resources presented a memo on the rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery for the sum of $1.5 billion. And that memo was $1.5 billion, and it was approved by Council today. So we are happy to announce that the rehabilitation of the refinery will commence in 3 phases. The first phase is to be completed in 18 months, which will take the refinery to a production of 90% of its nameplate capacity. And the second phase is to be completed in 24 months. And all the finals, and at the final stage, it will be completed in 44 months, and consultations are approved as well. And he said, I believe that this is good news for Nigeria. Now, when we know that petroleum affects every part of our lives, it affects our standard of living, affects transportation, the price of foodstuff, it affects every Nigerian. And a lot of times when we're having issues with the increase in the price of petroleum, which of course affects the common man and affects everyone, one area of discussion is, what about our refineries? What is the government doing to ensure that the refineries are being rehabilitated? Because we do believe if that we begin to process our own petroleum products, it will affect the prices, which will be favorable for the common man here in Nigeria. However, Seun, is this the first time that the government has ventured into the rehabilitation of any refinery in Nigeria?
Well, the government doesn't only have problem with rehabilitating refinery. It has problem with rehabilitating road, school, hospital, anything that has to do with work. This government generally, they don't like, doing it much. We have the history of that in Nigeria. Look at Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Look how long it's taking this government to deliver that to the people.
Yeah.
And this is building a highway. China is demolishing and rebuilding bridges overnight.
Exactly.
Overnight. So we're not asking for that. Let's agree. So And now when you follow the news, you say that they've spent 25 billion actually dollars on maintaining these refineries.
Yeah.
So it's only in Nigeria you find the situation where we have Dangote building a refinery for $14 billion dollars, and we have maintained refinery with 25 billion. You know, so it's only in Nigeria you see that kind of waste, you see that kind of disconnect from reality. You understand, when these people throw figures at the people. You know, I've said this thing at the show before. You know, when people are talking about billions, you know, maybe people don't understand billion. Let me explain it. You know, billion. Listen, guys. 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 million seconds is 11 days. 1 billion seconds is 32.8 years. That is the difference between billion and million. You understand me, everybody? So when these people are trained, it's only in this, and it's only in this our poor country. Because don't let anybody tell that Nigeria is rich. If the larger percentage of your citizenship living below the poverty line, you are also known as the poverty capital of the world. How can you be saying you're a rich country just because you want to be driving the best cars as government officials? If the government officials lived according to the welfare level of Nigeria, our president's official car should be a Tokumbo Toyota Camry. I'm telling you that stretch G-Wagon, every guy, you know, all these things that they have. I mean, come on. It is not in tandem with the development of the country.
Yeah.
You know, when you see all these countries that drive all these cars, many of them manufacture it in their country.
Yes, of course.
So, in Nigeria, you hear that they are building road. You hear that they spend 200 million on a road. Only in these poor African countries. Locked. Nigeria is landlocked.
Yeah.
Right? So it's even harder for them to get, what's it called? It's even harder for them to get materials that they don't produce locally. Yeah. So, how much did Nigeria build their own?
So, Seun, in this case, because the truth is, we do need refineries, working refineries.
Yes, I agree.
At this point in Nigeria, we should have gotten, we should have refineries that are functioning properly. Now that this ridiculous or ludicrous amount of money has been approved for the rehabilitation of a refinery that once existed, what next? Because we can stay here and we obviously could talk about and criticize how clearly we know that refinery will not cost that amount of money, you know, to rehabilitate that refinery. We already know this, you know, we already know that corruption is ingrained in our system. But now that they've already approved this amount of money, what then do we expect of the government? Is this going to be yet another story of, well, this is the amount of money that we've sequestered for this amazing project that will move Nigeria forward, and then maybe in the next 2-3 years, it's the same cycle over and over again? What then do we do as citizens in placing a demand on the government?
Where we live in a weird state in this country is that I think we're the only citizens in the world that when our government says something, nobody can really be sure.
That's sad.
So, until we're even sure they're going to build the refinery with that money, until we're sure that money is going to even get to the refinery and do what it's supposed to do. Because if a refinery that is not be working, that they're not trying to fix, it's costing 1.5 billion to fix it.
Yeah.
But they've been spending 25 billion to maintain it while it's not working. So what stopped them all these years? So you see, for me, it's not about we need refineries. It's the logic of it. Why are we just? What is this logic? So, if this is the truth, then that means 25 billion. That 25 billion has been wasted.
Yes.
Where is the probe? Where is the oversight on this? On this money, but it's it's Nigeria's commonwealth.
Yeah.
Every man for himself. Only God is for everybody, right? That's what they say. So but we as Nigerian people, we need. This is why I always say, like, the Nigerian professionals must begin to align themselves with the people from all walks of life, from being in the media and entertainment to those in engineering. This is the time for them to stand up and say, no, we can do it for the people of this country for this amount.
Of course. I think what's also worrisome for me is now that this particular ridiculous amount of money has been approved by the government. On one hand, we can say we need systems which clearly already exist for checks and balances to be able to hold these individuals accountable. But now the question is, those already existing systems, organizations, are they 100% trustworthy for us to know that indeed whatever accountability that we're seeing or is being brought to light can be trusted? And I believe that's really worrisome.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I'm even saying that we as the people now must speak up for ourselves. That's why the professionals, because we are laymen in this field, we can sit here and talk all day. But the petrochemical engineers, the biochemical engineers, the builders, structural engineers, everybody that's going to work in this kind of project. This is time for them to also crank the numbers.
Of course.
Form a little group among themselves, call them maybe engineers for a better Nigeria, and say, Nigerians who, but there'll be silence in this kind of because everybody's hoping that maybe they'll get the contracts, or they will see out of the contracts.
Wow, that's another angle.
I'm telling you, and we have to quit this. We have to quit this behavior. These people will just continue to squeeze water out of stone in this country, but that's the level they are now. They are squeezing water out of stone.
So, Seun, there's something I always wanted to even ask you about, and this just came to mind as well, and it's still, but it still borders around the conversation about refineries. I always wondered, growing up, I just always wondered, Nigeria that is rich with a specific group of people in Nigeria. The fact that things are not working is because there are a few people that are benefiting from it. And so what some of these people said to me, like I mentioned, allegedly, right, was that the elites have stakes in refineries outside Nigeria.
That's not news now.
So is that true? Because
National Assembly, many of those people were accused of, having stake in outside refineries or conniving with outside refineries to bring in petrol that they say that they delivered petrol that they not delivered and things like that, and that many of them also owned You know, this is the system, this is the style. Now, what is incredible is that when these refineries first got bad, you had economists in Nigeria that recommended that we started importing.
Oh, wow.
Us to be able to compete in this world, so-called world markets.
Yeah.
Right? But we want us to be paying you, the elites of this country, the masters of our existence, world-class prices for everything that you give to us. How can that work?
Yeah.
You know? Goods instead of sitting on all the benefits for yourself. You understand? No, but they gave us the tokenism of subsidy, and they not explain subsidy to everybody as if it's a bad thing for Nigerians to engage. You know.
So before we get
anyway, let's not
into
because that's another topic
that's
today.
The next topic that we $1 billion for rehabilitating the Port Harcourt refinery. What are your thoughts about this? Do you think that this is a welcome development? Are there questions you'd like to ask? Do you have reservations about the government's decision to approve such a ridiculous amount of money just for the rehabilitation of one refinery? Let's get your take. You can give us a call, 0809 234 5913. 0809 191 3913, 0809 222 0913, 01 515 0913, and also 01
I hear your voice.
Nice one, bro. Kuti, how you say?
Fine, thank you. All right, let's get your
like
take.
this money you mentioned now. It's like 200 and something there about. The other day, PSP came to our office. They give us price. Even in my compound where I'm living, they said the kind of addition they increase it. They said because these people have added money. I've been wondering. So even PSP that will come once in a while to come around, does being even time, we even take it away by ourselves. They're increasing their addition. What is this pensioner people doing? Are they really breaking this thing down for a common man on the street? Are they just for themselves? Good afternoon, bro. This is hi.
Good morning. Lagos Fox, good morning. Who's speaking? Please turn off your radio.
It's son.
All right, what's your name?
Yeah, I'm not on the line.
All right, let's hear
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning, my sister.
Brother.
I'm a financial for last week and you studio then. I'm happy for that. I want to tell you something about the refineries and what really angers me is this. The first phase of the refinery out of that $1.5 billion that is supposed to last for 18 months is going to produce gas. Okay? And when you talk about gas, right from the oil wellhead, and you have your flow station, you already flaring the same gas. So what is the 90% production capacity of the refinery? That is one. Two, another question that Nigerians are not asking, whenever they come up with landing costs and handling costs on the recovery and others and others, what happens to the 450,000 barrels of crude oil given to the NNPC for domestic refining for domestic consumption? What happens, sorry? I don't want to go into
I always ask that one.
I want to tell you that when you look at the refineries, because I've operated the refineries and I know the failure, the government cannot and will never, ever operate those refineries to guarantee that they produce 1 naira as a profit. They have never made a cover for the Nigerian state right from inception. Okay? I don't want to go into some other details that people will begin to say this and this and that. But I do know that those refineries, the state they are at the moment, is a man is dead, certified dead, and some people are telling you that, oh, let us change the brakes, let us change the lever, let us change the launch, and it's going to come alive. Government to cancel the refinery and stop this disease. And a whole lot of Nigerian journalists, they buy into this government disease of telling you handling under recovery. What is under recovery? Please, it simply means subsidy. This government is just being clever by telling you that they're not paying subsidy. The GLB of NFPC said that they are taking under recovery costs is same thing as subsidy. And subsidy, we must do away with it. We must hold these people accountable to account for the 450,000 barrels per day. Your oil is in dollars. How can somebody tell me, as a petroleum engineer and a petroleum economy, that you're going to produce gas and the refinery will be 90% of its production capacity? No.
All right, thank you very much for your take. Very sound points you've made right there. If you are listening, this is the people's perspective. We are now speaking about the federal government approving $1.5 billion for rehabilitating the Port Harcourt refinery. What are your thoughts about this? 0809 234 5913, 0809 222 0913, 0809 191 3913. Lagos Talks, please turn off your radio.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
This is Benny Olaolu speaking from Lagos.
All right, welcome. Join the conversation, please.
Yeah, you see, concerning the money used for the refinery, I read in the news.
Okay.
And after the refinery is repaired, it's going to be sold. And I asked, what's the essence then of refining, of repairing the refinery that will eventually be sold? So this
we seem to have lost that. Lagos Talks. All right, we seem to have lost that as well. If you want to send a WhatsApp message, please send it to 0809 234 5913. Seun,
now I can even tell him right now that that's their usual style. If you go and check how they privatize the electric, PHCN, and they now took it and reprivatize it. Under Okonjo Iweala then, she said that the whole thing it cost 9 billion. Then she used 3 billion to renovate it, to bring it up to scratch, to get it up to standard. And they sold the entire thing again. So that's 12 billion that we spent. The thing is worth 9. You now spend another 3 to bring it up to bang. So now it's $12 billion. These dollars, see, people don't.
Let's take this call.
Then they sold the whole thing for 3 billion. So don't be surprised that this refinery, after all this money they've got, they sell it for $100 million.
Let's take this. Lagos Talks, please turn off your radio. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning. Who's speaking, please?
Good morning. My name is Tunji. I'm calling from Italy.
Hi, Tunji.
Italian. Let me greet my international listener. Welcome back to the show, Mr. T. You are Mr. T now.
So, Mr. T.
So,
thank you.
When you call us, Tunji, you have to say Mr. T from Italy. You get me?
All right, let's get your take, Mr. T.
Okay, so for sure, like Phil mentioned, this amount is exorbitant. And what I've always noticed is if the government in Nigeria they're mentioning large prices, then something is wrong, because nothing of like big budget has ever really worked in that country. It's obvious that there's going to be some embezzling. And my whole second point is that if you look around Europe right now, even like USA, for example, like on the street you have like electric cars. So the world is moving, like we should be planning for the future. I know we don't have enough electric, power to even, power household items or like have the whole country on at the same time. But we need to be looking forward, what does the future hold? Like we can't, like the world is moving away from fossil fuels.
Hello. Ooh, I think we lost his call, but thank you very much. This is coming from Lansky on Twitter. By the way, if you want to send a tweet, please send it to @LagosTalks913. So @LagosTalks913. Use the hashtag #ThePeoplesPerspective. The People's Perspective. Please ensure that you use that hashtag so we can see your tweet. So Lansky is saying, Seun, if no nation can grow beyond the thresholds of its educational system and the vision of its leaders, we must start discussing fundamentals. Does Nigeria even look like a country to you guys? At least we should have a country first. Lagos Talks, good morning. Who's speaking? Please turn off your radio.
Good morning, Easy.
Good morning.
Good morning, this is Adeyemi. Good morning to Amababa.
Good morning, my brother. Welcome to the show.
Brother Adeyemi from Okota. You see, I think Seun has really put his fingers on the main point. But I'm worried that the reason why you are having that high cost is because there is no competition. Even if you are going to, repair, to rehabilitate any specific thing, we have a law. There's a procurement law which says that you should put it out to tender. And so what Seun is saying, for example, when you have the local engineers, making in an input, they even didn't have a chance. And then see what they came out with. They came out with Degremont. Degremont is well known for water supply, and now they're now employed, intended to be employed for the repair of this refinery. This is it's a crosswire, as you could say. It is not going to work. My take is let them leave this refinery as it is, for God's sake. If just 2 years, 3 years, we will get to a point where we will be able to take care of things by ourselves. The government is not ready to do the needful, and we're just going to do a wasteful venture.
Okay. Thank you very much for your take. On WhatsApp, this is coming from Peter Yorinde saying, good morning, Ify and Seun. Oh my, that refinery sets now. Big animal. You want to swallow $1.5 billion.
My guy.
On that balloon you want to buy Nachakogo power because on the refinery, crude oil doesn't consist only gasoline. It has kerosene, diesel, gas, bitumen, petrochemicals, etc. Don't we have proof of account that shows what these refineries do with the other parts of crude oil, or we send them the barrels and buy just the gasoline? So what is all about the regular turnaround maintenance of refineries? This is coming from a listener saying, good morning. I'm tired of this country. The senators should reduce their salary and use the money to be subsidizing the fuel for their citizens. If they go on and increase this fuel next month, we are going to turn the country upside down. This is coming from Lucky saying, good morning, Ify and Seun. Which kind of refinery our government is building? Is it diamond refinery or gold refinery? This is from Johnson saying, for $1.5 billion refinery, why can't they give it to the big international oil company to manage rather than wasting such a huge sum of money? This is coming from a listener saying, please, you should have given more time to Obaro. Who's Obaro?
Oh.
I'm not really sure who Obaro is. This is coming from listener saying, experts had advised that it's better to build another one rather than the turnover maintenance. I've always heard from the government for many years now. The question is, the yearly amount budgeted for the refinery in Nigeria budget, where is it? Who have they prosecuted for misappropriation of funds? This is coming from Michael saying, what baffles me is the fact that for years a venture can be run for years and huge salaries paid to its workers for years, but even a liter of fuel has not been refined and you're still putting more money. This is coming from A listener saying, please let them share the money with the less privileged, Jerry. This is coming from Alabi saying, good morning, Ife and Cheung. You should have given Obaro. Who's Obaro?
I don't know.
And I'm so sorry, we've given each caller that has called sufficient and ample time. It's a show. We need to keep the ball rolling. But thank you very much. Now, just moving on to the next story, which, somewhat is in line with the refinery topic. The federal government just yesterday said that the government, through the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, known as NNPC as we know, will not continue to bear the about 120 billion naira monthly subsidy burden on the petroleum products. Now, the government said the burden had become too heavy to bear, and that after the conclusion of talks with the organized labor on how to cushion the effects of the deregulation of the oil sector,
in
the
case
market
this
forces
government
will be
doesn't
allowed
know,
to determine
in
prices
case the
of
Nigerian
petroleum
government doesn't
products.
know, they themselves have become a burden too large for the Nigerian people to bear. Do you know the cost of government in this country? We run probably the most expensive government in the world. I mean, so nobody should
have some of the most poorest.
So nobody should not tell our own subsidy is our share of the national take. See, Nigerian people, that's how you must see this subsidy. Don't let anybody tell you any story about subsidy that is bad. What are we chopping? What are we enjoying? Inflation, is that our own share of the national take? Inflation, police brutality, traffic jam, no lights, sickness. The only thing we enjoy as Nigerians from this government, very sure. Then among themselves, they're not stealing. You see now. See, this is why Nigerians, this is why we must mobilize in this country. Okay. I'm telling you, politically, to take our destiny into our own hands. They already corner every other good thing in this country. Then the small change, who they chop subsidy, they see enter inside. It's not they say, oh, this one is body. This is the sacred cow of the people that help Nigerian people, that just keep everything balanced. Traffic, transport not too cost, food not too cost. Everybody just generate for a generator they work. Everybody just they generate tomorrow, just keep our balance. Now lie. They see took their eye inside there, hammer corruption, put inside. They chop the one we will not chop. Say that they can't collect subsidy.
So,
it is just sinister. I mean, say what you want. I mean, sorry. It's entire me.
Okay. With the subsidy right now and the government saying, listen, we cannot bear this burden again. Now, one of the listeners rightfully pointed out, because when this conversation about subsidy is not today, it's something we've been having for such a long time, right? And a lot of times when this conversation comes to play or comes to light, one area that is being pointed out by the citizenry is the exorbitant cost of running government in Nigeria. Listen, like you did mention.
I'm telling you,
and
all these experts are
the
same experts that told us to start this subsidy in the first place. Now they're the ones that are telling us to privatize the refinery.
Before we get into the experts, right? If we take a look at the allowances and the salaries of political office holders, especially those in the National Assembly, a lot of times citizens wonder, why can you not reduce or beat down the ridiculous allowances like newspaper allowance, hardship allowance, in order to further lighten the burden that the people are already facing as being the poverty capital of the world?
Should I even tell you a radical idea? Nigeria should run a free government.
Well,
anybody in government, if you decide to serve Nigerians the way we are now, the way this country, you should be doing it for free. We'll pay your transport. We'll pay your child school fees while you are working for us. All those things, all those bills.
How many of these leaders do you think we would have if that was the case?
So we know that's how you know that you have true leaders, the true servants in leadership position. Not putting your master, say he's your servant. That cannot work. You understand? So that's what we are doing. Let's find true people that want to serve. Truly, the way Nigeria is, the elite of this country, all their children they sent all over the world to go and study this and that. Why all of them coming to even join us in music? They gone. They should take all of them to come and repair this country. All the degrees they have from all the international university, Harvard, everywhere, all of them go everywhere, posting their children graduating up and down. You know, to go and work in the banks abroad and all the big companies. They should put them in government and they should work for free for this country. Yes. How did they get anything that they are? So okay, fine. This country has given you all this. So yeah.
But if they work for free, they are also entitled to allowance.
That's it. I said we. That's how. To be public school everywhere. We say that that's how they are working to fix it. So that's we know they are fixing it. The hospitals are there. We'll pay for all the elderly bill they have from there. We'll pay. We'll pay their housing. I mean, all these empty houses everywhere. I mean, that's not a problem. I mean, we'll take care of you for the amount of years you serve. 4 years, 8 years. You know, if you want to do 2 times.
I highly doubt that you want to do
if you
2
feel
times.
like doing 2 times, I mean, I think, you know.
But I feel like also what really bothers me about this decision the government is about to make as regards, you know, telling us that they can't bear the burden of this subsidy anymore is what is the government also doing to cushion the effect of the pressure that would, you know, be mounted upon Nigerians when this then happens, because already we see that not only before COVID-19 we have been the poverty capital of the world, even post-COVID, almost post-COVID, we see how much, you know, detrimental it's been on the average Nigerian. So now when this does happen, what is the government willing to do to cushion the effect?
I don't know what to do anymore. I don't vex now. How can people have made billions on our petrol and diesel in this country and none of their children has designed refinery for us? Upon all the school. So none of their children even go read petrochemical engineering, you know, anything like that. You know, like I want to be like that. You know, I want to control the petroleum business of the
is, like they always say, the apple does not fall far from the tree, because if you as a father or as a mother who is holding political office, or you're an elite in the system, and this is the
office. You that you have been petroleum minister.
You're an elite in the system.
You have been petroleum minister before.
And this is the legacy that you're leaving for your child. What else? Your child doesn't know better. Your child knows what they're seeing their father do.
But my own point
so
is
are we expecting the children to be different?
But you are petroleum minister. You have billionaires in petroleum industry, diesel business, marketers. None of their children, all these thousands of children, no one has designed refinery for the Nigerian people. Say, look at what I designed, you know, just for the, you know what I mean? My family we have earned so much from, you know, just from my heart to the, if everybody were like me, you know, I mean, if Nigerian people are packing all their money and giving it to me, the way they give it to all these people,
Let's take a few more calls.
Let's take some calls. Let's just take some calls. Let's take some calls.
Lagos folks, good afternoon. Oh, good morning, I beg your pardon. Who's speaking, please?
Good morning. My name is Anthony. I sent a WhatsApp message to you.
Okay.
Hi there, Sean.
Hello, I did you.
Okay, we try. But I don't see you. All the questions I need to do, you know, God will help us. The reason why I called it is because you don't finish reading my message. I said Obaro was one of the guests that was being invited by the guru on Morning Digest last week, and he translated more about this issue of petrol. So it's a petrol economy.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, but Obaro is not here. This is the people's perspective, so let's speak based on what is being spoken about right now.
You were trying to make some points. You should have given me more time. That's what I mean.
Okay.
But you guys are doing good work.
All
okay?
right, thank you. Thank you very much. Lagos folks, good morning. Who's speaking? All right, keep your calls coming through. This is coming from Sunday saying this refinery talk is a big scam. I don't see it coming even after they hand over. Lagos folks, good morning. Who's speaking, please? Sorry, what's your name? All right, let's hear you.
Yes, I think the one who is celebrating this policy. We are negating our engineers. We have people to this country who can do more than this. It's not called the white people who want to. People are taking profit from this contract. They don't give it to our engineers. They don't give them. Who is the type of good enough? I think somewhere in the United States. And there's some engineers that do something about the power company. And then it's working. So why are we always going on the foreign? Thank you.
All right, Lagos folks, good morning. Who's speaking?
Yeah, good morning. Thank God I reached you.
Thank God, oh. Who's speaking?
Thank God, oh. This is Victor. I'm calling from Ikeja.
All right, Victor, welcome. Please join the conversation.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Seun.
Hi, Victor. Correct, man.
Straight to the point.
He definitely
I've
does.
been listening to this program for so long, since the session. Every time I try to call, it's not been easy.
Ah, wow. Well, thank God that you're able to get through today.
See, the matter is it's straightforward. If you want the government to own the refinery, there are several examples around the world. It is working. If you want private owners, the way American and some European companies are running, where you have the Shell, the Mobil, the Chevron, and the rest, it is working. It is all about you being transparent, using the right professionals. I am an engineer. I study different sectors, especially the oil and gas. With transparency, that is the problem. It is our leaders are just have dark mind.
My brother, the mind black. I don't want to use black because the
you what made me to say I must call? You said something. The minimum wage is crazy. How can I can't be paying 2011. My minimum wage is NYC 20,000. This is 2021, and I'm trying to increase it to 30,000. But when inflation has increased like several times, I bought my car Corolla in 2014. I bought it 1.9. Go and look at that car now. And still minimum wage is still 30,000. How do you expect someone to survive in this same country? When inflation has increased almost 5-6 times, and economy, you say something about the economy. Economy will come, they will blow big grammar.
I swear they annoy me, eh?
I can use my own layman sense to know that inflation has increased several times since I was working. Since I started my first work 2013, and inflation has increased almost 4 times since I started being aware of my money. I've never been of my father's money on my own. Since I started being aware of my own money, inflation has been close to 4 times. And the economy will see that they will be speaking English for you people. You will invite them. Again, where is that man? That guy you invited to your radio station. People use him as a jingle. You have a public special advisor. He's from Ogoni, we have that. I think he works in channels. He said Buhari will reestablish the refinery. Don't worry, this and that. And you can use him as jingle. So you people should bring him back and let him sit down and you can ask him all these questions.
All right, thank you very much.
Because
I have no idea who you're talking about, but carry on.
But when people even talk about, like privatization in the answer, private privatization, I'm like, if we just watch TV, we allow these economists, so-called economists, that they've put money in their pocket, come and lie to us and we just swallow it without actually looking at our own reality.
Yeah.
How many things do we have in Nigeria that is public? All the private transports. The down for your entry is private transport. Now private people get that. All the molue, all the kekemawa. Is it well managed? Is it well looked after?
That's a good question.
Or look at our banks. Are they not all private? Who is satisfied with their bank? Honestly speaking. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to criticize or throw shade. But everybody's complaining. No, I mean, our telcos, are they not all private? I mean, are they not all private? So are we satisfied with the services that they provide for us? So I mean, we as Nigerian people must now begin. It's high time we stop allowing people just feed our brains with depositing to our brains what they want us to think, and pause and actually think about it. The privatization of Nigerian refineries will not lead to the refinery working well. That's why they say we should privatize the supply of this petrol. I remember.
All right, let's take this one. This is from Timitumi saying, good morning, guys. This government has failed in ruling this country, and it's been run like current accounts, like stamp duties and all. Now billions in dollars of refinery that will never work. We are waiting for them in 2023. This is coming from a listener saying... so Mubarak is saying, honestly, Given the level of public trust and support this government had when coming to power, and this refinery repairs, or whatever term they call it in this time, had come like in the first or second year of this administration, people would have taken them more seriously and we would have seen the impact by now, if at all there would have been any. But right now, they've lost that luxury of trust and massive support that they enjoyed earlier. My own is they shouldn't waste that money. Timmy is saying, okay, this is coming from a listener saying the country really just seems like a song. This is coming from Kilowansky saying, I can tell you that in a month's time, some national issues will come up and this refinery issue will be regulated or relegated, I beg your pardon, until we hear again, say people they faint for cuts from chopping the money. This is going from...
this country is just,
Igbo JC saying, Dear Ife and Sheon, this is simply the master and slave relationship which we in the South had since accepted as a result of our long throat and greediness. Until we decide what we want as a nation, we will continue to cry like a goat being flogged by the rain. This is coming from Bush Boy saying, any single dollar spent on the refinery is a waste. I wonder how we have one of the most educated and civilized people yet. We have the worst of characters in power who are very selfish and greedy. Let's take this one. Lagos Talks.
$1.5 billion.
Hello.
Ha! Are you on cow?
Good morning again.
Hi, good morning. Who's speaking?
So this is still Mr. T.
Mr. T from Italy. You didn't say it well.
From Italy.
Mr. T from Italy. Hey.
All right, Mr. T, let's hear you.
Okay, so I'm really happy about what you still mentioned regarding like public servants. Like they're serving us, right? So they can't be our masters. And I think we need a leader like, think of someone like Thomas Sankara, who was very young, even though he ruled for like 4 years, but he accomplished so much. One of the first things he did was that he lowered his own salary, to like $450 a month and limited his possession to a car and 4 bicycles. And, he also reduced the salaries of all public servants, and he forbade the use of, these government chauffeurs and first-class airline tickets. So if our country is going to get well, everything has to, change it because of leadership is too much in our country. These things need to be used, and then we'll know that we are serious.
All right, Mr. T. Lagos Talks. Good morning. Who's speaking? Please turn off your radio. Hello?
Yes, I tell you, I have a borrow back on the line.
All right, the famous Obaro. Thank you for calling.
Yes.
All right.
For your information, I want to tell you this. Before this 1.5 billion investment, the refineries were already undergoing repair. Okay?
Okay.
And another thing is this. The people who built the refinery, they had the expertise in the refinery. The one built in 1960 something, 1978, 1998, they had their expertise in this refinery, operating this refinery. And this expertise, they are not responsible to the manager of the refinery. They send their report directly to the GM Abuja. Okay, I had an name, I don't want to make that a name. One of them is our neighbor, so I don't want to go into that. But another thing you have to know is this. The people who built this refinery, they rejected coming to repair the refinery. For you to understand the way the refinery are, I want to tell you, for a country that actually functions, whoever built this kind of refinery should be tried for economic sabotage against this country. There are a lot of things I will not say because these are national assets. You understand that the details I have, I want to tell you, like Mr. T, the one in refinery was built, the one in Warri was built by the Italians, if you don't know. You understand, I want to talk to people while I was inside the refinery and I responded because the people never knew. And you never knew that I was on this language and I can write it. When I responded, it was short. You understand? So, the state refineries are at the moment. If the NNCC minister, the minister tells me that they're going to build another CDU unit, which is the first unit of the refinery, and that is the crude distillation unit, where you have your PMS, I know you have your kerosene, diesel and other NASA and other. They will review the NASA treatment unit. They will review the FCCU unit, that is the fluid catalytic center, where it actually has majority of the portfolio, the bulk of it, to catalytic cracking processes that we can have abundance of fuel. But like I also said, the 450,000 barrels per crude given to the NFCC, that is 35 million liters of free MS in law per day. Where is it? You must ask in this thing. And the pulling all over our eyes.
This is very alarming.
They are supporters of this government. No, gas is what we get from the fuel station, and they are flaring it and wasting it.
Yeah, so in some sorry to cut you off, sir. Sorry to cut you off, sir.
We need technical experts to hold them accountable so that they can answer us. So the finally, as we are, all of them, I've been to all of them, and I know what.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you very much for your brilliant take on what's going on.
Yeah, because in some towns in Niger Delta, some of my friends tell me that the gas flaring there is 24 hours.
24 hours.
And it is against the law to even for I think 1 hour. By 1 hour, you pay fine.
Wow.
For an hour of gas flaring normally. 20. I think they don't stop. The gas that letting it gas that we should be using.
Well, Mr. Obar, thank you very much. We're going to be wrapping up, any moment from now. But thank you really, 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 really much for giving us not only an expert perspective, but first-hand information as well.
45 million barrels a day. Nobody is talking about that. So if they say 30 million a day we are consuming.
Wow.
So if we are locally refining 450,000 barrels, that is 45 million barrels a day, then why are we importing petrol?
In the first place. All right. Let's take this last call and then we're going to wrap this up.
Hey!
All right, we lost our call. It's 11:56.
Some people are making money in this country.
It's time for us to say goodbye on the show for today. Thank you so much for being a part of the People's Perspective show. It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming in, as always, keeping it real, and giving us different perspectives as regards the topical issues that are trending in Nigeria.
Yes, so may 1.5 billion locate us this week, this weekend. $1.5 billion anywhere you are.
I receive it. All right, Seun, before saying goodbye, please drop your details.
Yeah, it's Big Bed Kuti on Instagram, at Real Seun Kuti on Twitter. Facebook, Seun Kuti. Yeah, check the kid out.
Alrighty, guys, you can reach out to me on Instagram and Twitter at Ify_I. That is IFY_I. The midday show isn't over yet. Even before getting into more that you should be expecting, please follow Lagos Talks across all social media platforms at Lagos Talks 913, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. For those who've missed out on the previous editions of the People's Perspective, check out our videos on YouTube, Lagos Talks 913. Please subscribe, watch our videos, like our videos, comment, and share our videos as well. I have a couple of interesting people that will be stopping by today in the studio. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet.